On this day 70 years ago, fighting in the Korean War came to an end with the Armistice Agreement. Among many who died during the war, the remains of 7 South Korean troops finally made their way home on Wednesday. Our Oh Soo-young starts us off.
More than 7 decades after he fought and died in the Korean War, the remains of the then 19-year-old Private First Class Choi Im-rak came home to South Korea and his surviving family. Carried in the arms of his nephew, who is currently serving in the Navy, Choi was reunited with his youngest brother, who was 6 years old when Choi died in 1950, but is now approaching 80.
You are now in the arms of my boy who we sent to the Navy. Is he holding you comfortably? Big brother, don't worry about our country anymore, but rest peacefully in our land. I will live in gratitude to our nation for bringing you back to us.
Choi had been identified among the 7 sets of remains of South Korean soldiers killed during the 1950-53 war, handed over from US custody in Hawaii and flown to Seoul Air Base on Wednesday evening. Coming home on an Air Force tanker escorted by a squadron of F-35A fighter jets, the remains of the fallen soldiers received a hero's welcome in a reception ceremony hosted by President Yoon Suk-yeol. Yoon was joined by top Korean and US military officials to pay their utmost respects, greeting the arrival with the highest military honor, a 21-gun salute. Yoon presented each of the 7 soldiers, 6 of them yet to be identified, with combat medals for their bravery and sacrifice. The repatriated troops were among the remains collected by both US and North Korean excavations during the war and in the decades following. Initially believed to be American soldiers, the remains were later identified through joint forensic analysis as troops of the South Korean Army. Choi's remains were delivered to Seoul National Cemetery, the resting place for fallen patriots and heroes, while the other 6 sets of remains will undergo forensics and DNA testing to identify the soldiers. Since 2012, the remains of 313 troops have been repatriated to South Korea from the US over 7 occasions. Only 19 of them so far have been identified. After the president pledged last month all-out efforts to return the nation's war dead to the arms of their surviving families, his office said on Wednesday that Yoon's first ceremony for the fallen soldiers' remains was organised with the conviction that the lives lost in the line of duty should serve as a call for our duty to remember them. Oh Soo-young, Arirang News.